Aaron Barich, invitational champion. Yeah, he's infecting people. Versus Gift Storm. Ryan, this one is a close matchup as far as who's faster. Now, I would never want to play against Aaron Barich when he's on Infect.
For sure. Both of these decks very capable of winning on the third turn of the game. Barich won the die roll, though. You got to figure that gives him some edge in the match.
Is that just a tap land?
Looks like it.
Wow. All right.
Could be setting up for either an Inkmoth Nexus and or a Blighted Agent on the second turn.
If Aaron's keeping a tap land go, my thought is that there's a threat on turn 2 and a kill on turn 3.
Yep, that would make a lot of sense.
If there's anything less than that, I think he's mulliganing.
At least it could be multiple creatures plus protection spell, couple pump spells. So it's a few configurations. There's a number of decks that are trying to grind in the Modern format right now. So you try to go along against decks like Mardu Pyromancer, Jeskai.
Yeah. This is going to be interesting. So Aaron, second land is a Windswept Heath and just passes. No Inkmoth, no Blighted Agent. And now he knows he's against Storm. Shivan Reef into Baral. So yeah, no, we're not hiding what we're doing anymore.
Right. We do have an Expedition on the battlefield. That checks a square for me. See, Breeding Pool there for Barich. 2 in a row on my bingo card.
What?
Yeah,
Player plays Breeding Pool?
Expedition Breeding Pool. Aaron Barich always comes with those. That Windswept Heath, of course, is Khans of Tarkir, but you know.
And Blighted Agent with a land up for Barich. I think there's a protection spell there. See Apostle's Blessing in Aaron's hand, but the danger would be he's allowed his opponent to untap with a Baral.
Right. The question isn't, is my Blighted Agent dead? It's,
am I dead?
Right. Am I losing on turn 3? They're starting on sleight of hand.
Yeah, I don't think so. Mitchell's hand has 2 more lands and a second Baral in it, so if he's going to combo, it's going to be with the remaining cards.
That's
we'll
tough.
See if he can do it.
There's a Grape Shot and a Desperate Ritual. That's nowhere near 20.
Yeah, and you have to think that the idea that you can use the Grape Shot to remove the Blighted Agent isn't going to work.
It's enough to fire, but it's not enough to get there.
Yeah, that's what he'll do. I'm going to shoot them both at the Blighted Agent. Doesn't really matter. I mean, I think you'd want to shoot one of these upstairs.
Yeah.
I mean, none of it's going to work. Aaron Mutagenic Growth's the Blighted Agent.
You mentioned if Barich had Apostle's Blessing, he's playing around Lightning Bolt by going with the pump spell.
Yeah, the question is, does Aaron have the Growth and a kill this turn? Did he? Because he... It feels like, to me, the answer is yes.
With no threat on turn 2.
Yeah.
Feels a lot like there's going to be a bunch of pump spells coming here.
Right, because his hand had to have something in it.
Right.
Like,
yeah. It's not just
all
7 lands. Yeah.
Here's Blighted Agent. All right. Are we going to go for it? Here is Groundswell. Make it 5. Can we become immense?
We have 4 cards in the graveyard and 2 mana. Yeah, there's a Become Immense hanging out there. You would like to get a protection first, and because the mana is neutral of paying 1 mana and setting up Become Immense, you can cast something here in the interim.
Here is Blossoming Defense. Okay, and if this works, then the Become Immense will be a kill.
Right, and this is a check for Unsubstantiate, and now
it's gone. Now Become Immense. Now it's a big Blighted Agent. And Unsubstantiate will put the Become Immense back in Aaron's hand.
Okay.
Okay, Mitchell takes 7 poison.
That's a reasonable swing. You know, Barich's graveyard is gone, so it's going to be tough to convert that Become Immense going forward.
Can Mitchell punish? His opponent's tapped out. Well, sure, he'll attack for 1. That's not the part we care about. He has Repeal. So he can, for 2 mana, repeal the Blighted Agent. He'll do that.
Yeah, and that was some pretty nice sequencing by Stephenson there. He
had
Barich to tap out. Even though he had Unsubstantiate, he could have fired off in response to Blossoming Defense. Didn't have to. Was able to repeal the Blighted Agent.
That was a very nice Unsubstantiate. Now, Aaron recasts Blighted Agent, says go. Where both players don't seem to have the pieces together yet. Mitchell's hand is 2 Rituals and a second Baral. And despite some very nice play on his side, he may just have bricked.
Hey, your deck doesn't always help you get there.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing what he needs to. Repeal's a great card for this situation. We'll see whether or not Aaron has any pump spell. That will present lethal here.
I believe Vines of the Vastwood is hanging out in the hand.
With Apostle's Blessing, Mitchell dodged a lethal Blighted Agent attack once. Storm's not set up to do it twice.
Barich certainly has enough to shove, and as far as I know, Mitchell has nothing to say about it.
Swing, Vines of Astwood with kicker, and Mitchell picks up the cards. Barich with Infect, 1-0.
That's another bingo square. Player gets 10 poison counters.
I actually got one here, Spell gets kicked. We were talking about that before. I don't know if outside of Vines of Astwood, there was a card that I could get that with.
I kept trying to think of something, and I came up with cards that escalate.
Yeah, Spell gets kicked.
I thought about Walking Ballista, but that's not multi-kicker. It's just XX.
Yeah,
everything I tried to come up with did not have kicker, but yeah, Vines.
Vines actually. Well, what sets in Modern is kicker in. It's what? Kicker's in Zendikar block.
Yep.
It's in Dominaria.
Right. It's in Time Spiral.
It's in Time Spiral? What's it on in Time Spiral?
Is it not? I just assumed it was.
It's probably on a card in Time Spiral. Because something in Future Sight has some form of kicker on it, I bet.
I'm going to level with you. I didn't have a card off the top of my head. I just threw it out there because it was probably true.
Yeah. So over at StarCityGames.com, we have our weekly sale. That's at our online store. Different items on special discounts for the week. So this week we have been giving up to 25% off select Modern singles, like Spreading Seas. If you want to get that Spreading Seas just 25% cheaper, you can go ahead and go over to the store. But actually, real things. Dual, some fetch lands, some shock lands, a lot of great stuff to check out. That'll be going on all weekend.
Hey, you joke, but Spreading Seas are like $3 or something now.
No, I actually know that. I have a stack of them. But and check in on Monday, 11 a.m. We switch over to next week's weekly sale. That's 11 a.m. Eastern. So really, just do it this weekend.
Right. I can always justify buying fetch lands, but when it comes to like the $5 commons and uncommons, those sales, they add up.
I used the weekly sale this week.
Yeah.
I bought a Lab Maniac.
Yeah,
he was on sale.
You're putting together a little cube.
I am putting together a cube. Most of my cubes, does not have too many Modern staples, but it has a Lab Maniac in it because my cube's all about like self-mill.
Sure.
Because I like that that's from some fun gameplay. Yeah, got him 25% off. It was nice. Let's look at the sideboards. Aaron, still on that 4 Geist of St. Traft plan that he brought to the Invitational. Ryan, is this a matchup where he does that?
Strikes me as a bit slow. I don't think. It's certainly on the draw. I think that's right out. This is a Lightning Bolt matchup, but I think you can fight over that with cards that are otherwise good in the matchup.
All right.
As we go down the list, you have a couple Dissenters Deliverance, those also don't play. A couple Nature's Claim, no. 2 Shaper Sanctuary, probably not enough interaction to reach for that. 2 Relic of Progenitus, however. Yeah, that can slow the Storm deck down. They frequently have to go off through the graveyard. I like the Dismember, actually, because they usually need a Brawl or an Electromancer to actually go off. The Spell Pierce is great. Plays offense and defense.
How about Spellskite?
It's reasonable.
Okay. Are you worried at all about Empty from Mitchell? Not that Aaron can do much about it.
As a player who sometimes plays Storm in various formats, I generally leave Empty on the bench in other combo matchups because it's too slow. I would not be afraid of it.
All right. And Mitchell Stephenson, 4 pieces of the puzzle, pretty standard here. This is actually, I believe, we're going to switch the sideboard. Hold on. Okay, 3 Lightning Bolt, 2 Pyromancer Ascension. Thank you. We got an update there from production saying that we had to switch a card. So, 2 Pyromancer, 3 Lightning Bolt, an Echoing Truth, a Wipe Away, Giga Drowse, a Braid, that 1 Empty, and a 1 Shattering Spree. So I'm looking at Lightning Bolt, of course, to deal with creatures. The question is whether or not I want Pyromancer Ascension and pieces of the puzzle and actually be more controlling, or whether I just want to Braid and Bolt.
Yeah, I am interested in Echoing Truth and Wipe Away because you generally have to answer something on the battlefield.
Just like they're still removal spells. When your opponent's playing Pump, they're still removal spells?
Right. This matchup, it's a little bit tougher to convert a Gifts on Given. So I am possibly interested in the pieces, though I could go either way on that one.
Turn 1, Serum Visions from Mitchell. He's on the play. Both players keeping on 7. We see there's at least 2 lands, a Goblin Electromancer, and a Gifts Ungiven in Mitchell's hand. So I think that's what he has going on right now. He's probably just trying to find rituals.
Yeah. And with Storm, it's a deck that's very heavy on cantrips. You generally just keep a lot of opening hands. This is a matchup where you want to go fast, though.
That is a hand, so we see turn 2 Electromancer. That is a likely turn. If there's no interaction, this is a turn 4 kill. Turn 3, you gifts. Turn 4, you should be able to win.
Yep. Now, this is a matchup where that's not necessarily fast enough.
Yeah, it really depends, I think, on what Aaron presents this turn. His turn 1 was Noble Hierarch. If it was Glisten or Elf, I'd be a little more scared. And from Aaron's side, we see Inkmoth Nexus, Dismember.
So that's a infect threat and an answer to the Electromancer. Huge turn for Barich.
Huger still. Glistener Elf was then cast, so 2 threats plus answer. And this is where you said that turn 4 win might not be enough.
Right.
This hand certainly suggests it.
Well, it's not just something that can theoretically just race you. Barich might have a kill locked up, but he also knocked Mitchell off balance.
Yeah, that Gifts Ungiven can't be cast this turn. Now it's a turn 5 win for Storm.
Right.
And I doubt, without interaction, that turn 4 casting Gifts, untap, and try to win on turn 5, I don't think that will play here unless Mitchell has something else.
And without much backup, Barich knows it's a matchup where Stevens is going to have burn spells, bounce spells. Barich now has access to 2 infect threats. He's not going to shove in a way that's not at least relatively safe.
Aaron Barich, he just shoves. Here's a swing with Glistener Elf. Pump, become amends. He's not going to shove. Come on, he's just going to go for the win.
I said that's not relatively safe. He has backup here.
Here's Echoing Truth.
And here's Spell Pierce.
Spell Pierce, and that's the match. Aaron Barich.
It was
love
relatively
it,
safe.
love it. If you ever want to see, both Aaron Barich and Tom Ross are great Infect players, but man, do they play the deck different.
Oh, yeah. Barich's approach is largely based on arithmetic. All right.
It's like he's not going to shove. I was like, oh, this is Aaron Barich. He's shoving. He had a Spell Pierce. You're right. He had a Spell Pierce.
I had